Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. Indeed, strange things they do happen in this world. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? So, I am a Zimbabwean who is living here in South Africa. I came here to South Africa and I started staying in Johannesburg. I came here like so many others, hoping that me coming to South Africa, maybe I was going to find money just everywhere. It was because there was this other auntie of mine who used to work in South Africa. So when she came back during this other December holidays, she gave me a 50 rand. And I bought a lot of stuff at that time. The rand was very powerful. That was when I thought that it was far much better for me to Johannesburg, the city of gold, to find a better life, to escape the poverty and struggle that I was facing back home. But things did not go as planned. Brother Nashi, I have been in this city for almost 7 years now, and still I am unemployed, struggling to make ends meet. All along, I can say that it was a little bit better. Until recently, I made some desperate choices. Because of desperation, it led me to make choices that I am ashamed of. And today I need to confess the darkest of them all. I have done a lot of stuff, but there are some things that I have done that I cannot tell you. It all started when I was at my lowest point. I had no job, no money, and I was living in a cramped, run-down room in the city. I was just barely surviving. One day, that was when I met a man. This man, he was going around with these other guys, and they were busy giving out people flyers and flyers and flyers. This man then claimed to be a pastor. He approached me because what I used to do is that I would go to this other taxi rank. There was this other woman who had her own restaurant. She would be cooking pap there and she'll be selling it to the taxi drivers. So I used to work for her, and when he approached me at that taxi rank, he offered me a job that would pay more than I could ever imagine. So I thought that this job that he was offering me, it was a job of me handing out these flyers to the people in town. And he said that I'm going to pay you a lot of money. He said that he was a man of God, that he helped people, and that I could be a part of his ministry. In my desperation, I did not ask too many questions. I just saw the money he was offering and thought that it was a way out of my misery. When you are poor, when you are broke, then a man of God just comes to you and tells you that he has been told by God that you are special. We all want to feel as if we are special. That is what this pastor told me. The pastor then took me to his church, which was more like a grand mansion on the outskirts of the city. He explained that he had a powerful gift, a spiritual ability to heal people and to remove curses, but there was a catch to it. He needed me to help identify those who needed his services. So I was excited, like when he said that your duty is for you to walk around different communities, and I want you to identify those that are in need, those are desperate for miracles, and so that we can bring the miracles to their doorsteps. He was saying that he's more like an Amazon. He's getting these miracles from God, and he was saying that in heaven there is a place where miracles are just stored away. So he needed people that can go around delivering those miracles. So he wanted me to be part of his ministry. So I did not even understand what he meant by that. He then told me that many wealthy people in Johannesburg were living under the illusion of happiness, but they were spiritually sick, cursed without knowing it. That was what he said. My job, he said, was to bring their hidden curses to the surface. He said that if in your family, if there is the spirit that causes someone to be diabetic, for you to return back to Christ, we need to call that demon that causes the sickness in your family to attack you so that you can run back to God. He said that we were to bring hidden curses to the surface so that they will seek him out for healing. It sounded strange, but I was too desperate to care. The pastor then handed me a bag of soil, telling me that it was taken from the graves. He instructed me to go to the wealthy neighborhoods quietly throw this soil into the yards. So this is what we do. We can go around, there are those papers that people just go around giving, and there will be of advertisements like companies like Game, ShopRite, and whatever, and we get some of those papers. Then when we go around leaving those flyers, then we'll be having the soil and we'll be working undercover, and the moment that we'll be placing it in your letterbox, we will also leave the soil at the front gate. And this soil, it is taken from the grave. So the soil that we leave, it will bring bad luck, misfortune, chaos into your lives, driving you to seek help. And then they will come to him and they have to pay, because as for him, he does not heal someone for free, he heals someone for a price. I have since asked him how much he charges people, and he told me, when he told me, I was shocked. He said that he can even charge up to 100,000 rands per consultation, depending with from where the person is coming from, and depending on the severity of the case. And I didn't understand how people could pay so much, but he assured me that they did out of fear and desperation. At first, I hesitated what he was asking me to do, because it felt like what I was doing, it was wrong and evil. But then he showed me the money, more money than I had ever seen in my life. He handed me an envelope with a few thousand rands, a lot, as an advance payment, and promised me more if I did my job really well. The sight of that cash made me to forget all of my doubts. I needed the money, and I convinced myself that maybe it was not as bad as it seemed. So I did it. I went to the rich neighborhoods, driving around with our car, pretending as if we are giving these flyers. And then when we are busy delivering those flyers, that is when we go around throwing soil. And if we cannot do it during the day, because some of the people, what happens is that it's like the Spirit of the Lord informs them that there is something that is about to take place. You can just see someone rushing back from work when you are about to go and place the flyer into their letterbox, and you cannot throw the soil. So what we do is that we can wait until nightfall, then quietly we walk around scattering the soil in people's gardens, near their doorsteps, anyway. I thought when they would not notice, anyway, where they won't notice quickly. Besides, who is going to notice that at their gate there is some soil that has been sprinkled? Time went on. The weight of what I was doing began to sink in. I then started hearing stories about the people whose homes we have targeted. Some of the people, they have lost their businesses overnight. Others have fell ill. Some had their families torn apart by sudden tragedies, accidents, divorce, and sure enough, most of them have ended up at the pastor's church. And when they come to the pastor, they are paying huge sums of money for this healing. I have seen the fear in their eyes when they come, the desperation that has driven them to give away their fortunes just to feel safe again. And I know that the reason as to why their lives have fallen apart, it is because of the soil that we would have taken from the grave. The more that we are doing it, the worse that I have been feeling. The money have not brought me any peace at all. And I have since tried to tell myself that I have invested a lot back home, and I need to return back home and to manage my business, because I have a shop and I also have a lodge that I built back home that it generates enough income. But I don't know, it seems as if this pastor, he has a spirit that makes me to keep on wanting more. And I keep on seeing all of these people suffering, such that it has made me to have a lot of nightmares, seeing the faces of the people that I have helped the pastor to curse. I cannot shake this feeling. And there was this other day when I went to the pastor, I told him that I went out, but he laughed at me and he said that, even if the billionaires, if they keep on working, how about you? You are not even a millionaire like me, but I am still working. Go back to work. He has since reminded me of all the money that he has given me. He said that if I try to leave, he would make sure that I end up worse than any of the people that we have cursed. I am trapped, caught between my guilt and my fear. And I know that I can't keep up with this doing this. Sometimes I prepare like I am one of those Nyaupe boys going around looking at people's refuse bins. And if I see that there is no one in the street who is looking at me, I rush and I sprinkle the soil on the front gate of someone that we want to be cursed. We only target people that seem to be wealthy so that they can rush to the pastor. This pastor, I don't know how he makes these people to come to him, but let's say that today, if I go around sprinkling all of the charms, then the next week or the next week after, then mysteriously that person will come to this pastor's church complaining, asking the pastor to pray for him. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Just imagine someone pretending as if they'll be going around looking for some stuff in your refuse bins. Then they sprinkle some soil that they would have been given by the pastor, the soil taken from the graves. Then you become sick, your wife, your children. Then you have to go to that pastor to receive your healing. This pastor said sometimes he charges up to 100,000 rands. Can you just imagine? A lot of money.